Hello folks, All Out the One here. I've always liked the idea of having a small kind of survival kit on your person at all times when you're out in the woods, and I've been developing a system like that for several years now, and obviously that's something that you carry in addition to your main kit, but something ultimately that is compact and can be carried easily on your person. And so in that vein, I've developed this system here. This is based on the Cape Belter pouch, and is basically a compact single person survival system that I carry with me at all times in the woods. In some ways this is a variation on the Altoids style survival tins, and this is what I carry in mine. I'll show you in a second. First of all, this is always basically in my jacket or trouser pocket, and is ultimately either secured with a zip or clipped onto my belt, so there's no way I'm going to lose this, which is vital. And you know, it doesn't weigh too much at all, so can be easily carried and is basically unobtrusive, and you kind of tend to forget it's there because it's just so compact. So as I said, I either carry this in a zippered pocket or in a velcroed pocket on my trousers. Alternatively, I can also carry it over the shoulder, which is a really comfortable way to carry it. And if you'll notice, there is a carabiner on this side, so basically that allows me to attach it to my trousers, so it keeps the whole system out of the way when you're bent down doing various tasks. So that's just a nice piece of rope there, secured with some safety breakaway cord should I get snagged up on anything. So ultimately it can be carried like so, or simply around the neck, and you can tie it off to allow it to sit higher, which is also a nice convenient place to access all the items within. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the contents of the kit. So let's look at some of the items in the kit. First up, we've got some wet fire tinder. Definitely get a fire started in even pretty grim conditions, I know that from experience. Small diamond sharpening and ceramic steel, ideal for sharpening various types of blades, even axes. So always a handy piece of kit to maximize the mechanical advantage of your knives and tools. Next up, we have some fire fuses, baddest B fire fuses. I found these to be really effective, and I like them. Definitely recommend as a fire starting device. Next up, we have backup knife. Remember, this stuff is all for backup, so I've always got my main blade with me, but this is the Falkniven U2. Really have loved this knife for a long time now, and I've been using it for about 5 or 6 years, and is still razor sharp, and definitely up to a lot of small woodsy tasks. Next up, we've got some good quality cordage, massive braking strain on this, ideal for use for friction fire saws, etc., and good for shelter building and loads of other useful things that can be done with this, including making traps, nooses, etc. So that's everything in the outside pocket now. Now we open up and have a look at what's on the inside. Surprise, surprise, I've got more wet fire tinder cubes. Now, you know, one of the most important things that a kit of this type can do for me is to light a fire. Definitely a huge morale boost, and plus can stop you shivering the night away in case you are lost. Next up in here, last two items, that's it, the pouch is now empty. Last two items, we've got a roll of high quality duct tape, really strong stuff, good for repairs. Nice slimline package there, so you can quickly and easily access it all. Ideal for tent repairs, for example, or if your tarp is damaged in any way. And finally, as I said, this is sort of loosely based on an Altoids style survival tin, but this is the UK version, Marks and Spencer's Curiously Strong Mints. Nice they are too, but let's open her up and see what I've replaced the mints with. So let's just have a quick look at the contents now. First up, some more micro cordage, 200-pound breaking strain, again can be used for traps, snares, nooses, repairs and shelter building, and loads of other uses. Next up we have a survival compass, very well made little survival compass this, with a highly luminous dial, so a good 1 minute blast from a good quality high powered torch and that will shine for a good 4 or 5 hours. Save you having to get your torch out every time you want to reference the compass for nighttime navigation. Next up we have a small signalling mirror wrapped up in 2 ranger bands. That's got a small hole in the middle for target acquisition basically, so you can see what you're shining the light at. Dog tag style format, very compact and good for getting stuff out of your eye if you're unfortunate enough to get some grit or a stick in there. Next up we have a small vial, waterproof, full of some more baddest B fire fuses. That's just a little last ditch fire lighting source there if need be, but I know that's there in mint condition stored within this container. Next up we have a small photon flashlight, good multi-use with signalling modes, SOS, and a very dim low output to preserve battery life. Next up we have my small self-made tritium lamp. This glows for about 15 years and is extremely bright. Behind, it's all waterproof, sealed in there behind a glass lens, so yeah, it's good enough to kind of examine the contents of the kit and pick out various items. Next up we have a Acme whistle, very loud tri-note whistle to get your rescuer's attention quickly. Next up we have a small flashlight, secondary flashlight, but this one provides you with a nice warm tint compared to the kind of bluish tint of the photon, and has 2 power levels, high and low, and has a rechargeable lithium battery, and just kitted out with some tritiums at the back there, just to make it easy to locate, and I just think it looks really cool. So yeah, 2 flashlights in there, nice. And next in the box we have this tiny fire steel and striker combination, good for at least 3,000 strikes according to the manufacturer, and yeah, good to get your tinder going, all the various tinders that I carry going, and is also good for natural tinder fire lighting, so obviously that's a super reliable form of ignition there. And finally in the tin we have a mini glow stick, simply snap and shake to activate. So that was the contents of my belter pouch. These are items that, as I said at the beginning, I always carry them with me when I'm out in wild environments, and basically they provide me with a certain level of security should I get into any trouble. Obviously if I'm straying away from camp, then I'll be carrying a steel or similar water bottle with me, so ultimately that can be used for water purification and storage. And yeah, the water bottle alongside this kit provides me with a nice well-rounded survival kit, in my opinion. As always, look forward to hearing your thoughts, views and opinions on this kit. Would you carry anything differently, or do you think I've pretty much done a good job here? This is definitely good enough for my needs, in my opinion, and will cover me through most disasters, including getting lost in the woods, which has happened to me before. Some people say, yeah, medical first aid kit. Obviously, I always do carry one with me. You can check out my previous videos to see that. But there's always a medical kit in my main rucksack, which obviously is always with me when I'm out in the woods. And should I stray away from base camp, again, I will take the rucksack with me just to carry everything that I want for the little journey away from base camp. This is all Outdoor One, signing up for now. Thanks for watching. Take care.